a significant number of members of our gender and sexually diverse communities who have been all over us on this, as well as council members who participated, as well as the law department. There's been a lot of conversation in regards to what the city's role is in this, and we spent a lot of time talking about that. I'm going to be really frank. We need the federal government changes to the criminal code in order for us to really deal with this. I appreciate all of the work, and while it's not insignificant, we really do need to step up our advocacy on the federal government to ensure that this file keeps moving.
We have different pastors from different organizations just say, well, if we have a conversation, does that mean we're fined? So we don't have freedom of right or to have any type of conversation with anybody, then we're going to be in big trouble. So it's important that we understand the context of what conversion therapy is and support that. And unfortunately, Councillor Woolley is correct, as I did the research, we don't have a law. So usually cities do bylaws. That's why they're called bylaws, because there's usually a law in place already. And we do an addition or amendment to an existing law to support it. So this will be challenging. So I obviously support this. I think that we have to be very thoughtful and careful in the construction of our bylaw to be fair to all parties. And with that debate, I more or less have a question for our head solicitor is, what is our position in terms of legally as a municipality of what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do, and whatever we decide as a bylaw, what can actually be enforced? So how would that work if we do a bylaw with the definition and then the federal government decides finally to do a law, and if it differs, then does that automatically void ours, or we have to go back and make amendments?
Yes, if there's a conflict with the federal government law, with the definition section, then yes, we would have to amend it to ensure that it reconciles with theirs.
Need Councillor Woolley to close.
Thank you very much. Just technically, I do have an amended version. Clerks, is that there was the changes to the time at the back end and that it's coming through community. So that's what's being moved now. I read an article a couple of years ago by John Ibbotson in the Globe and Mail about a gentleman named Everett Clippard. And a lot of people won't remember, but Pierre Trudeau's famous line that the government of Canada has no business in the bedroom of Canadians was based on Everett Clippard, who was a City of Calgary bus driver. And he had been put, I think he was the last person put in jail for being gay, and they forgot about him for a long time. Calgary actually has a really interesting and long history of advocacy, and so when Councillor Carra talks about pushing our jurisdiction, we should, and we have before, and we have a history of it as a city, not only on these issues, but on many other issues. I got Michael Mooney in my office to send me his most, the definition isn't there, but this is, we haven't actually said what the definition is, and one of the definitions that we've been looking at is conversion therapy, sometimes referred to as reparative therapy, is any of several dangerous and discredited practices aimed at changing an individual's sexual orientation or gender identity. Conversion therapists use a variety of shaming, emotionally traumatic, or physically painful stimuli to make their victims associate those stimuli with their LGBTQ identities. It's estimated that about 700,000 members of that community have been subjected to this over the last many years, and expected that many tens of thousands more in the coming. This has nothing to do with freedom of speech. People that are using, well, why I can't get in a conversation, that worries me. Those people that are saying that this practice and freedom of speech are the same thing
Playing games
are playing games.
with people's lives.
They're playing games with people's lives. This is a symbolic thing, yes, but we will bring teeth. One of the pieces that I and the other signatures of this and our friends in law have been working on is how can we give this as much teeth as we possibly can, so that if you are practicing this in our city, we will come at you with everything that we've got. And I would just say, if you're an organization or an individual who's undertaking this practice, hopefully after this vote, will no longer be welcome, and we will come and use all the tools at our table to come and find you, to ensure that you aren't subjecting our citizens to this awful practice. So thank you. It's been a very interesting conversation today. Huge thank you to the members of our community who have been fighting for this for a long, long time. The fight's not over. Thank you.
Thanks very much. On the recommendation before you then, on the recommendation before you, are we agreed? Any opposed? And that passes unanimously. Thank you all. All right, you could have a little outburst. Thank you, everyone. To the